One of the topics we need to discuss regarding percents is simple interest. So the objective is I can solve multi-step simple interest problems. Interest is the amount of money paid at a specific rate when borrowing or lending money. So interest is actually an amount of money. Some students try to make their interest their percent. No, interest is actually an amount of money. It's an amount of money you get if you put money into a bank. They give you a little bit of money for allowing the use of your money to let other people borrow. Or if you take out a loan, it's the extra money you have to pay back on top of the original loan. A principal is also an amount of money. That would be like your original loan. It would be the amount you borrow or the amount that's lent to another person. Rate. When you get to rate, that is actually the percentage. So it's important to remember, principal is an amount of money. That's your original amount of money that you borrow or lend. Interest is amount of money. That's a little bit extra money that you have to pay or that you get. And rate is where the percentage comes in. It's the percentage charged for borrowing or made by lending. And time is a number of years or months that's required to pay back the loan. And time in this formula will always be measured in years for now, unless the problem very specifically states that the percentage is based on a number of months. All right, so your simple interest equation is interest equals principal times rate times time. Principal is your original amount of money. Your rate is your percentage, and we always know we're going to change our percentage to a decimal or a fraction to actually use it in the problem. Time is the amount of years. And the interest is also an amount of money earned or paid. It's an extra amount of money that you're earned or paid. Okay. Let's take a look at some actual problems. It says Mark borrowed $200 excuse me, at 12% interest for 1 year. If he makes no payments, how much interest will he owe at the end of the year? So they're just looking for a straight amount of money extra that he owes at the end of the year. As soon as you see simple interest, you can say, oh, interest equals principal times rate times time. And you know your principal is the original amount you borrowed. That's important. Your principal is the original amount you've borrowed. Interest is the extra money that you earn or that you have to pay to borrow money. So in this case, it's a borrowing. So it's going to be an extra amount of money that you have to pay back on top of the original $200. So he borrowed $200. That original amount he borrows is your principal. 12% simple interest. As soon as you have a percent, that's going to be your rate. You're going to want to change that to a decimal or a fraction to use it in the problem. And the amount of time is 1 year. If he makes no payments that year, how much interest? So they're looking for the amount of interest, the amount of money he will owe at the end of the year. That's the amount of extra money he'll owe. He'll still owe his original $200 plus some extra cash. So we have interest equals our principal is $200 times our rate. Our rate is given as 12%. Well, percent is always out of 100, so that's 12 out of 100. 12 divided by 100, 12 hundredths is written this way. So I'm going to use it as a decimal. That's our rate. And our time is just 1 year. Okay. I don't have a calculator at home, so I'm going to do my 200 times 12 hundredths longhand. 200 times 12 hundredths. 0, 0, 2 times 2 is 4. Put down a 0. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. Add those up. 0, 0, 4, 2. Okay. So 2 places over, 2 places over. So the amount of interest, and then you multiply that number by 1. I mean, it's only 1 year that they care about. If they cared about 5 years, you'd multiply by 5. Oh, they don't care about 5 years. They care about 1. Wow. Whew. And 24 times 1. That means $24 in interest is the extra interest you have to pay. Now, the total you'd be paying back would be $200 plus 24. You would now owe $224 for borrowing that money. But if they just ask how much interest, it's just a straight problem where you just tell them the amount of extra money you have to pay. All right, let's look at the next problem. If you put $1,500 in a savings account and you earn $180 at 4% interest, how long was the money in the bank? Okay, so as soon as we're talking at the 7th grade level about interest, they're going to use the simple interest formula. Interest equals principal times rate times time. So if you put $500 in a savings account, the amount you originally put in is your principal. You earn $180. The extra money that you've earned for putting that money into the bank is your interest. And as soon as you have your percentage, that's going to be your rate. And you know your rate has to be switched to a decimal or a fraction to use it in the formula. And then it asks how long. So what are they looking for? They're looking for time. We don't know the time. We know the principal, we know the interest, we know the percentage, the rate that your money is growing, but we don't know for how long. So in place of I, I'm going to put 180. In place of principal, my original amount, that's $1,500. In place of rate, if you have 4%, percent's always out of 100, so that's 4 out of 100. 4 divided by 100, or 4 hundredths, is 0.04. And I don't know the time. I don't know how many years, so I'll just leave that. Again, I'm going to have to multiply 1,500 by 0.04. 0, 0. 4 times 5 is 20. Put down a 0, carry 2. 4 times 1 is 4, and 2 more is 6. Put down a 0. Oh, and then it's all going to zero out. So I just move over 2 places. Okay, so that would be 60 right there. So 180 equals 60 times t. If I'm going to solve this equation for t, I just say, what's the operation between the 60 and the t? Oh, that's multiplication. How do I undo multiplication? I undo multiplication with division. You solved one-step equations in 6th grade all the time. So 60 divided by 60, fancy form of 1. So we have t equals 180 divided by 60. I'm going to tell you, factor of 10 we can divide out right away. So that's really 18 divided by 6. 18 divided by 6 is 3. Must have been 3 years. Please feel free to use your calculator to support you with these percent problems. I just don't happen to have a calculator at home. Let's take a look at the next problem. A calculator that is regularly priced $20 is on sale for 40% off. What is the sale price of the calculator? Okay, so now that we're this far into percents, we're not always going to be asking about simple interest. So this is a throwback. It's asking about sale price. And the original price was $20 and it's 40% off. If it's 40% off, what percent am I still paying? So if I start with 100%, I take 40% off, I'm still paying 60%. What's 60% as a fraction or decimal? Well, a percent is always out of 100. So that's 60 out of 100, or 60 hundredths. I could always, 60 hundredths is the same as 6 tenths, so I can rewrite it like that, just to make my life easier. But I'm still paying 60%. So what you would do is you would know your new price is the percent you're still paying times the original. All right. So my new price will be 0.6 times the original of $20. All right, so I'm going to do 20 times 0.6. 0, 6 times 2 is 12 over 1 spot. So my new price is $12. And that makes sense. If it was 50% off, 50% of 20 would be 10. So 60% of 20, 12 sounds reasonable. So we are still paying $12. All right, I hope that was a quick review on how to find the sale price. But the gist of this, you have to focus on being able to find simple interest. That was the main purpose of this. All right, hopefully that helped.